When lockdown started in March, the first lockdown, I should say,
Mm.
we had to close down my lunchtime concert series that I run here in Dorset. And we have a very big and enthusiastic and loyal following. And of course, they weren't able to come along. We weren't able to see them. A lot of our supporters look forward to a monthly musical treat, as it were. And there we all were cooped up in our homes. So I heard that a lot of people were recording themselves at home. It's not something I'd have dreamed of doing in normal circumstances at all. But a lot of people were doing it. A lot of big name players were doing it. And I thought, oh, well, if it's good enough for them, why don't I give it a go? And so I got out my phone and learned how to record a little video. And I'm hopelessly technologically inept, so this was quite an achievement for me. And I put them online for our audiences, specifically for our subscribers to the lunchtime concerts. So where they'd see me once a month, heaven help them, they would have the chance to tune in and hear me play something every night, just to keep in touch with people and help them to keep in touch musically. I don't give all the concerts myself, whereas these were all me, but needs must. And I played a piece from the established repertoire: Beethoven, Bach, Brahms, Schumann, Chopin, you name it. I went through the repertoire, choosing a short little piece every night and just helping us all to feel connected. And what I was amazed by was not only that in the first few days, thousands of people tuned in, but also people from all parts of my life and my past started reconnecting. And there seemed to be a real hunger for some sort of artistic sustenance at this time when we were all sitting at home with nothing to do. No concerts, no entertainment. Yes, you could go and look stuff up on Spotify and Apple Music or whatever it is, but there was no chance of going to a concert. And a lot of people just really responded to this opportunity to listen in to 5 minutes of music with a little spoken introduction about the piece and who it was by and what it was all about. And a lot of people, which this really touched and impressed me, a lot of people who would not normally want to listen to serious music as we know it, and fair enough. It wasn't part of their world, but because they had nothing else to do, they listened to a piece of Brahms, heard a bit about him, and actually found they enjoyed it, which I found very, very interesting, actually, because
I agree.
I do think it's very often the whole habit of going to classical concerts and the idea of going to a concert and having to sit stiffly and starchly for 2 hours or whatever it is amongst people who, you might think know more about it than you do. That's not necessarily the case, but that's the perception. And
Absolutely.
I thought it very interesting that several people emailed me and said, I've never thought I liked classical music, but now I've reconsidered that. And
I think you're onto something here, because actually this is the whole reason why I have certainly committed the studio to doing a lot of work on Livestream, because I think it was coming. It was inevitable that Livestream was going to become part of our way of presenting music to people. And I think that what's happened is that lockdown has accelerated that infinitely. And actually, what I've found is that it is possible to create a sense of intimacy using Livestream that perhaps isn't as easy to create in a concert hall setting. And I think that element is what's drawing people in. There's an informality about it, which I think is actually is really speaking to people. And actually, I think those people who aren't, as you say, who perhaps wouldn't habitually listen to serious music, do so because they have the opportunity to try it in a more informal setting. And I think this could be the making of live music rather than anything. And I think it's going to be really interesting to see how this develops. And certainly, we're on board, and we intend on bringing as many excellent musicians and high quality concerts to people and to new audiences as possible. And I think this is why I'm so excited by music, the sort of music you're presenting, because it's a new voice, it's a new perspective.
Well, I think you could well be right, because it's one thing going into a concert hall and trying to make music accessible by virtue of how you present it, but it's entirely another to be able to do that in a way where a lot of the people who never have come in the first place find themselves accessing it. And I think that is the exciting thing.